Hello everyone and welcome or welcome back. I'm Jennifer from Joy of Stationery, and for today's video I wanted to kick off some of what I'm thinking about my lineup for 2025. What you can see here are the Hobonichis that I've decided on for 2025, and what I've been doing this December actually is I've already started using them for some reason this time around as we approach the end of the year and we approach the beginning of the new year. I've been really finding that I want to enter into the new year already kind of having a sense of my systems and already finding my groove in them in a way. I think there are times when I look forward to that new start, but I think that this time around, there's something about taking the time to kind of experiment with these various notebooks and techos and getting a little bit of a better sense of what I would like to do with them in the new year that's been at the forefront of my mind these past weeks. And there's something about entering into 2025 that I'm feeling like I want that comfort of knowing that I have my books, that I've been using them, and they're something that have already become a part of my everyday life, if that makes any sense. In any case, this is not my full lineup, but I did want to just highlight for now the Hobonichis that are in my lineup. And the first is one that you'll recognize if you've seen my previous videos. This is the Hobonichi Weeks, and this is in the Tanabata design from the Hobonichi release this year. Let me just show you, this is in a cover right now by Elysian Paper, but as you can see here, this is the beautiful kind of design from the Unsodo Bijutsukai designs that Hobonichi had released. On the front here, I just kind of wanted to show you, I've added a couple of things. This is just a cute little card, or I didn't even add a couple of things, it's just really just the one thing. It's a cute card for this mystery box figurine that I just got recently, and I just wanted to show you. It's this adorable little girl and her little cat. I guess her name is Nyota, and it's part of a collection called Nyota's Fluffy Life or something like that. Anyway, this is the figurine that I'd gotten in the mystery box, and this one is called Warm Sunlight, and it was just so cute, and I loved this style so much, and I'm so glad that I have it now. So she's kind of keeping me company here, and I also just really liked how kind of vibrant and fun and cute the card was that came with it. So I just wanted to put it in the front because I think it matched some of the pinks going on here, and then I just kind of placed the leaves that came with the cover so that it framed it rather than blocked it to some extent. But again, this is the weeks that I have going on. I have the Love and Trip 2025 sticker from the Traveler's Company release for 2025 on the cover here, just because I thought that it worked really well in terms of the decoration. Because I've shared this, I won't go over it too much at the moment, and this is not going to be in kind of an in-depth look at all of the setups, but just a little bit of an overview of what I have going on. But this really here, I say that and then I'm going to show you some things. I've done a couple of changes, like I ended up coloring the inside front cover of the weeks. It's just a really simple kind of gradient and just a kind of a scene, but I think I just have been feeling the desire for more color in my life in some ways. So I've got that there, and I've showed this before, but I have a couple of things here, but mostly I just kind of added this, and which is, it just says Life Book, and this is because I am really thinking about this week's as a life book in a way. And so while I won't go again in depth into necessarily how I'm using it, I talked a little bit about it in previous videos, and it's continued to kind of evolve and change. But I think what's been at the forefront of my mind with this particular week's planner is that I'm really thinking about it as a kind of life book. as something that I can kind of look back and flip through and really kind of see what's happened in my life week to week, month to month. And I feel like the weeks is really ideally suited for that. And it's slim enough. So obviously it's not going to contain everything possible, and this is also why I will need some other books to do more in-depth planning and things like that. But I felt like what I've really appreciated about the weeks is the way it's so easy to kind of look back at previous weeks and see what's been happening there. And I really wanted to make the most about this upcoming year with this as a kind of life book and really conceptualizing it as such. And then you can see here I have 2 of the A6 sizes. So this is actually going to be the first year in a little while that I haven't actually gotten the A6 original techo from Hobonichi, whether in the full size or the 2-book avec set. But instead, I have housed in here, this is the A6 planner, the English planner, and I'll show this in just a second. And then in here, I've got the A6 Dayfree. You can see first though that I have 2 A6 covers here that I decided that I wanted to bring into my lineup for 2025. This is from the Hobonichi 2025 release. And this one is the really wonderful and fantastical Yumi Kitagishi cover. I think it's called Travel Journal. And it's just such a wonderful and colorful and vibrant cover in a way, with all of these gems and images that have been drawn upon it. I believe that Yumi Kitagishi drew or kind of designed this cover specifically for Hobonichi, like for a Hobonichi cover, and that's something that I think is just really, really special. You can see perhaps that I've added some embellishments, and I think it's because I did find this cover to be really inspiring, and I really wanted it to be something really special in my life and in my lineup for next year. Again, kind of inspired by the vibrancy of these colors and the whimsy and the quirkiness of the illustrations. What I was really kind of struck by was this kind of connecting thread of this red ribbon in a way. And it's interesting because the red thread kind of runs throughout the Tanabata cover as well. You can see the kind of red threads in the design here. And so I think that what I wanted to do was kind of emphasize it a little bit more as an accent. And so I do often like when there's a kind of piping around things. This one doesn't have it, but for example, I believe it's the Keiko Shibata covers from the Hobonichi 2025 release this year that have a kind of piping around the edges. I really like that effect, and while I wasn't able to quite duplicate that for this cover, I did kind of get this little trim, and I decided to see if I could kind of attach it to the cover and just kind of let me just do this so I can kind of show you, and just have it go just all around the outside like this. And I was super glad that it turned out okay, and there's still kind of plenty of room. I can use the back pocket here, and I also just kind of put it right at the edge, and so all of this still fits in a clear cover on cover. I just removed that clear cover on cover just to be able to kind of show you this cover without the glare of the clear PVC. But that's kind of what I have going here. And then you can also see that I've added this detail right here as well. So underneath this ribbon here, on the drawing itself, on the illustration, what Yumi Kitagishi had drawn at the bottom of this frame with this adorable cat was a little bow in a red and white striped ribbon. And so I had recently picked up a set of ribbons, and let me just show you I think this is such a cute little set of ribbons here. This I picked up from, I think it's the Flying Tiger shop, Flying Tiger Copenhagen. And I decided to use this ribbon here because it was red and white striped, just like in the image, and see if I might actually put a real bow on the front here. And it turned out just a little bigger than I thought it would, but I was quite tickled by this idea, and I love this idea of kind of having a little bow in the front, and I've attached it, and it's quite secure now. And so yeah, it's just a couple of little touches that were inspired by the whimsy of the cover, and I think I just wanted to add to that specialness and really kind of this idea of kind of personalizing it and bringing in little elements to really cherish this cover, just because I thought it was just so lovely, just a really special one. So in this particular cover, I've decided to house what will be my journal, and this is a first for me because what I'm actually doing for this journal is using a Hobonichi Dayfree in the A6 size. I won't go through too many of the pages because I've already started it and some of it is quite personal to me, but I'll just show you some of the elements. I've decided to kind of slip both covers of the notebook into the Yumi Kitagishi cover, and then it opens up just to this kind of inside front cover here. This is from the lovely miso paper and nettle and twig collaboration PET tape, and it's just a really cute typewriter here. It says Dear Paper Lover, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. And then I now have a little label maker, and so I've just typed in journal and I've just put that there. I might add something on top here, but I have yet to see. But I've just been keeping this really simple because I mostly just, I like to do a lot of journaling. I'll just sort of show a little bit of maybe the first pages here. I did end up doing some decoration on the sides here, but on some of the other pages, like you'll see here, I haven't necessarily done that, and I've been keeping it pretty clean actually. But I've been keeping this margin that Hobonichi provides in the Dayfree, where you get this sort of invisible line. I wanted to keep that margin free, and I can include extra little notes or even kind of labels or like even headings of where I've journaled about a particular thing. But that's also where I put the dates of the journal entries. And so I've been doing all of my journaling on the right-hand column. So I really just wanted it to be my go-to journal, and I have been absolutely loving this. I just realized I never mentioned this. This is also a recent acquisition, and long story short, I seem to have lost a couple of my fountain pens. I don't have a big collection, and they're on the kind of lower end price point side of things, but I seem to have lost them during my move to our new home. So I've been wanting for a while to pick up the Traveler's Company brass fountain pen, just because I'd heard good things about it and I wanted to try it out, and I have absolutely been loving this so much. And so I've been using this exclusively just to journal in here, and you can see that it's already started to patina from where I'm holding it, but I absolutely love this little guy, and I might speak a little bit more to that in a future video as well. But I've been using this here in the pen loops just to keep it shut like this. And then this is the another cover that really ended up speaking to me. This is the Only Is Not Lonely in the ivy green color, and I really liked the color scheme of this with this kind of dark ivy or forest green and this lovely sort of camel band, which I thought made a really nice contrast. And I also, was really kind of taken with the fact that this is a cover that has quite a slim profile. So it doesn't have the extra pen loops. It also actually doesn't have pockets. But because of that, it can be kept very slim, and I think I was looking for a cover that could do some of that with a closure as well. And I ended up, as you can see, personalizing this or customizing this a little bit as well with this Trust the Process patch. And this is a Baumkuchen patch. I used to live in the States, and something that I do really miss is being able to kind of have access to Baumkuchen's really wonderful items. I am very grateful that now that I'm in the United Kingdom, that Miso Paper in the UK does stock some of Baumkuchen's patches and charms and some other little items. So I was able to get this from Miso Paper, and I really liked these new colorways that Baumkuchen came out with for this patch. So this one is, I think, the sage green one, but you can see it has kind of the green and a splash of red, and there's something about it that I really liked. And I was thinking of putting this on something else for a while, but then I realized that I think that I just wanted to put it on here and personalize it a little bit. And I really like how it turned out, actually. It might not be for everybody, but I thought that it matched the colors really well as kind of adding that little pop of color, like the little pop of red in the middle, but also, you know, not being you know, too much, and keeping it still quite simple in terms of the kind of overall look of it. And yeah, I just adding just a little bit of character. And so in here, what I've decided to do is actually house the A6 planner, and I'm also using this in a bit of a different way than usual. I'm not quite finished decorating here, but I wanted this to be, and I have yet to kind of decorate this as well, and I'm not sure if you can read that, but it says the Cabinet of Curiosities. And what I wanted to do is, rather than kind of using it as a daily techo per se, I wanted this to be a kind of collection of thoughts and curiosities and other kind of lovely things that I wanted to think about in my life. And I've actually started it off with, or this was kind of the intention as well, with some of the prompts from Susannah Conway's Unravel Your Year. So I just kind of put that on there, a bunch of like colors on this page. So this is actually the January month page, and this is January 1st, but instead of using it by date, I'm actually going to be using the dates in the monthlies and in the Calendex or yearly overview as a kind of table of contents in a way, or again, kind of an index for where to kind of find things. And it's freed me up to kind of use this wonderful book in a way that I haven't really used before. So I wanted to start off with unraveling my year from 2024 and then looking ahead to 2025. And Susannah Conway has a really, really wonderful free workbook that she releases every year called Unravel Your Year. And I believe some of you are already familiar with it, but I love taking a look at it every year and at least trying to do some of the prompts. But this time I think I wanted to really kind of make an event of it, but also kind of make a little experience of it as well. So one of the first prompts is, you know, saying farewell to 2024, describe 2024 in 3 words. And so I just used some cute little stamp stickers. I think this is from the Sticky Club Advent, as is this. And I just picked Hilly New Start because that's kind of how I felt 2024 was. There were just a lot of kind of uphill battles, but there was a way in which, even in the midst of those battles and those kind of obstacles, that it was providing a new start for me in certain ways. So other things, it's not the most beautiful thing that I've done, but I've also just been putting the other prompts on each day and kind of filling them in as I decided to, you know, if I feel kind of inspired to write about that prompt, for example. So I've already gone ahead and you know, pre-populated some of the questions into here, as well as, you know, some cute little stickers and such. But you can see that I did end up kind of starting to input some of my answers to this, and I just really like this idea and being able to kind of go back and really kind of think about all of these things. And I think that my hope is that by really kind of intentionally making a space for this, that I can also then have a kind of reference in a way that I can look back on and remind myself of some of these larger questions that in the day-to-day grind I can easily lose sight of. And I think it's just really helpful to kind of turn back and in the bigger picture kind of think about some of these things, you know, how have you evolved over the last 12 months? What feels different now? You know, when did you stand up for yourself in 2024 and when didn't you? So these are kind of large questions that I think are really, really so helpful and I think kind of healthy in a way, especially when it comes to kind of thinking about your development as a person. And so I just wanted there to be a kind of a special book where I record those answers, and it's kind of organized in a way that makes it a lot easier to look back on. And if all goes well, I would love to continue this in the following year, starting off with next year's Unravel Your Year and the prompts. And I think it would be a really wonderful way to compare my answers from this year to next year, and hopefully so on and so forth in the future. So we'll see how this goes. But for now, I'm calling it my cabinet of curiosities, where I'll be, you know, putting in some of the thoughts, the answers to questions, as well as some of the things that really kind of interest me or spark my curiosity in ways that can be kind of a collection of all of those things throughout the year. So I hope that this was kind of interesting or helpful to see, if at all. Again, this is not my full lineup for 2025. These are just the Hobonichis that are at the core of my system, but I'll be doing another one because the other core part of my system will be the Traveler's Notebook system. I thought that I would just split them up into 2 videos for now. But yeah, these are my Hobonichis. I'm really, really quite happy about them, actually. And I'm so glad to have started on them in December as we prepare for the new year, as we prepare for 2025. And I'm looking forward to continuing to work in them and seeing how they continue to evolve and develop, because that's the main thing, if anything, that I've learned this year is that for me, I find that my uses of my notebooks and my techos really end up evolving with my life and with any kind of changes that come into my life. And I guess in some ways it is kind of a beautiful thing to see that evolution. So even if at the beginning of the book, it starts out one way, but by the end of the book, I've started using it in a different way. I think there's something still beautiful that can be seen in even seeing that development or seeing that change. In any case, I hope that you all are doing well, wishing you all a really lovely end of the year and festive season, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.